Well, good morning. I'm the Reverend Dr. William L. Johnson III here with our morning meditation. It is a wonderful time of year as we prepare to close out the end of 2024. And what a way to do it. These morning meditations have carried us from January until now, and we've gone through the ups and downs of our lives. We have witnessed the challenges of family and friends and all the things that have happened in our own climate, whether it be health or whether it be the political landscape or whether it be just a changing of the seasons. Some of us began this year with family members and friends that we thought that we would finish the year with, only to discover that we now journey without them. And some of us are then still grieving over past challenges and difficulties that we've had to overcome. Yet others have found that the past year has been one of promise. It's changed the landscape of their life. They were in one place before and they found themselves graduating to another place, and that is to be celebrated. Whatever your year has been like, and whatever it is that we have journeyed through, it is good to be able to have these moments in which we can reflect and remember, these moments in which we can recall the journey, the road that we've traveled, and even the moments in which we would be more hopeful about what it is that we will face tomorrow as opposed to what we went through yesterday. Well, whatever it is, we want you to know that we're glad you're here and glad to share these messages, to walk alongside you, to be able to inspire you and encourage you, we hope, along the way. They have certainly encouraged me as I've been delivering them over the past several years. And now I am in another place where I can get a grasp of what it is that we're dealing with and hopefully deliver another message today. Well, today's morning meditation is entitled Which Road to Choose? Which Road to Choose? It's amazing to me that there's always this dilemma as we are on the precipice of change or whatever it is that we may find ourselves in, of having to choose one route or another, one road or another, one decision or another. And sometimes those decisions come with so much weight that they might change the entire trajectory of our lives, who we will be with, how we will determine the next 3 months, the 6 months, the 9 months of the next year. In fact, it may even change the destiny of our lives of what it is we will end up being 5 years from now, 3 years from now, 20 years from now. Well, today's morning meditation is something like that. It is a reminder to us that there are some moments in our lives where all of us have ventured out in this place of life called a journey for ourselves, and we have to figure out what to do and what decisions we should make. And in fact, we have some choices between traveling the rough, rocky road or trying to find the easy street. This message was almost entitled Finding Easy Street or Trying to Find Easy Street. But we all know that probably if you've lived more than a day and a half, that there's nothing in this life that is a guaranteed easy street. No matter who you are or where you're from or what neighborhood you come from or what social demographic you are part of, we might find ourselves in this place. But life does not come with easy streets. For some of us have learned and discovered that we may have taken easy street one way and then found that the backside of that road was more difficult and harder. Others have found themselves trying to make other decisions while they chose a harder route, but found that the backside of that road, the backside of that journey, was not as hard as it had begun. In other words, we don't know what will come with life. We don't know what will happen in the next year, the next 3 months, the next 3 days, or the next 3 hours. And so the choices we make sometimes feel like we're in Las Vegas and we're rolling dice, trying to figure out how to get lucky for the next thing. But I want to give us more promise than that of chance. It is something about our lives and the living of our lives that remind us that the easy street that we're looking for may not very well be easy, but our approach to whatever road we take is the common denominator, and it changes everything about our experiences. In other words, simply put, our experiences, the moments, and the things by chance we may encounter should not determine whether or not we view our road to be the right road or the wrong road. In other words, the right road or the wrong road is the road that we take without the Creator being in mind. And so that, my friends, is what I'm really getting to. The idea that we are a results oriented kind of society, that we want to see how the results would come out rather than the strength of the journey is the difference. We may not be aware that God might be doing some shaping for us on the road that we take, and the road that we take measures what's happening inside of us. In other words, let me say it again. The external road we take, or the route we take, the career we choose, the people we have in our lives, what we decide to do for a living, how we decide to, where we decide to move, where we decide to retire. All of that has to do with the fact that we have made some decisions for ourselves about where we should go and how we should approach those experiences. So let me share a little few things that I wrote down here from my own self so that I might share with you. The challenges we face leave us with the dichotomy of faith and failure, sometimes promise and problem, sometimes difficulty and destiny. But here is what I have really discovered, and I want to leave just a couple of things with you to hold on to as you make your journey closing out this year. What I would hope that you would do when you start to think about what choices to make and what roads to take is that you would think about who you are, who God is, and what you're called to do. Those three things: who you are, who God is, and what you're called to do. Let me begin with who are you? Who you are. It's important for me to analyze and know who I am and who I am not. I discovered early in life that as much as I tried to imitate other people, I just couldn't be them. No matter what it is that I could do, I may be able to sound like them if I worked hard enough, and I may even be able to pursue a route and do the things that they would do, dress like them if I could afford it, and even in some ways, model myself after their lives. But the truth is, as much as I try to be someone else, there's no way for me to be them because I have to be me. And to do the analytical work for myself, to be able to say, who am I, God? Who am I and what should I be, is a harder job to do. There is a scripture in the 6th chapter of the book of Isaiah in which Isaiah finds himself as a priest. As a religious leader following in the kingdom, while King Uzziah finds himself leading all of Israel for 50 plus years, 52 years. But he dies. And everything that those people had known, everything that they had imagined, everything they had seen had been shaped by the model and the image of King Uzziah. But once he died, they didn't understand who they were anymore. They didn't understand what they were supposed to do anymore. And there, in that moment, Isaiah says, in the year that King Uzziah died, I saw the Lord. I saw God high and lifted up, and God's train filled the temple. Now, I will get in my preachment if I would at my home church or where I was preaching. I may be able to share this message somewhere else. But here's what I do want you to get. It is important to know that when life hits you, and it will take away all that you know and challenge us to be able to identify who we are in those moments when it's no longer clear by the external things or by our surroundings or by our family or by our money or by our position of who we are. And in those moments, many people go through an identity crisis that they don't really recover from. But when you have choices to make, it's important for you to know who you are. And in that moment, Isaiah says, I see myself now. The fact that I saw God means that I was able to see who I am. And once saw who I am or who I was, I could see a lot of things. I saw not only who I am, but I saw who the people are around me. I recognized who my friends were. I recognized who the enemies were. I recognized who the people who were in my corner were, and I recognized who the people were who were not in my corner. I recognized myself and them because I first recognized who God was. And here is the last point. What am I supposed to do? Here's what Isaiah said in that moment. After he went through, says, woe is me. I am a man of unclean lips. I hang around with people who don't have their stuff together. Lord, what am I to do? I want to be used by you. And God touches Isaiah, uses an angel to pick up some hot coals and put them on the instrument that he is supposed to use for his life, and sanctifies that instrument of his life, and then says to Isaiah, go ahead, now you're okay. And Isaiah says, here am I, God, since you have done all this to prepare me for whatever you want me to do, here am I, send me. And here's what Isaiah discovers, that that's when he was clear about what he was supposed to do. Not until he knew who he was, not until he saw who God was, not until he saw who other people were. But after his eyes were open and his mouth was open, he was able to see God. And he was able to see what he was called to do, which road he should take, which route he should choose. It wasn't whether it was the easy one or the hard one. Whatever route he should choose, it would be the best one for him. And so I leave you with this today, that whether you're trying to decide on one thing or another, one place to go or another, what relationship you should be in, which one you should not, first get a good look at God, and then determine how to look at yourself in light of God's view. And you'll understand what it is you should do once God has touched your life when you've asked God to. It's an amazing thing. It's freeing. It's liberating, really, because you find in those moments that all those dilemmas about faith and all those things about failure, all those things about problems and all those things about promise, all those things about destiny and difficulty start to fade away, and you discover that things get pretty clear. That when you wake up in the morning, you're clear about your assignment and the joy that you have in living one more day for one more moment to serve your God and other people, because you're clear about who you are and what choices you should make. Well, that's the morning meditation. I hope that it's helpful. Maybe I may need to do a part two for this one, but I want to encourage you as you journey on. I want you to know that God doesn't leave us hanging or dangling around trying to figure out where we should be for long. We might have a crisis of faith, but when we seek God, we discover that God has exactly what we need when we need it, if only we would receive that message. Sometimes it's not the easy road or the easy route. But sometimes it is the route, whatever it is, that becomes easier the more you release yourself to what it is your divine destiny is calling you to. Well, that's our morning meditation. Enjoy it. I hope that it has blessed your life. Remember, you're loved, you're appreciated, and you're irreplaceable. Have a great week. Have a great day. Have a great life. It's the one life we're given. Take care. Bye bye.